all the design we put into windsurfing sails and boards and fins and everything was about trying to make it more efficient. Whether you're trying to make a free ride board jibe better, or a plane earlier, or a race board try to go faster, everything was about efficiency. And this foil solved the problem. The board unstuck, we reduced the wetted area enormously, so there's no longer any drag. Because there's no drag, then the sails don't need to be so powerful. They can become just really flat and slippery through the air, less effort, and boom. And then the IQ foil class windsurfing on foils just went boom. And now, you know, you see it on the PWA. If you're not on a foil, you haven't got a chance. Yeah. So foiling is windsurfing. And then I guess the question we have is, what is wing foiling? I believe it is windsurfing. I windsurf on my wing foil gear now. The only thing that I changed from windsurfing with a boom, which, you know, and a sail that you flip and that's tied to the board. Well, once we started windsurf foiling, with the board out the water, if your rig is attached to the board with a mast foot, like we used to windsurfing with fins, then you have this irregular kind of oscillation of the pitch, or the nose of the board goes up and down as the sail increases or decreases in power or twists. It affects the nose of the board going up and down. And so we really didn't want that. On foiling, the pitch instability is one of the things we try and resolve. So if you disconnect the rig from the board, so it's no longer doing that, and you just hold a wing, it's like it solves that problem. So now we're windsurfing without the rig being attached to the board, and we're flying along, and I'm still using a windsurfing harness, windsurfing foot straps, windsurfing harness lines, windsurfing foil, or basically the same foil, roughly a windsurfing board. It's made in the same construction, and I'm using the wind in the same way. And the only thing is we've inflated our wing instead of, you know, built it out of carbon and all that kind of stuff. And so it's windsurfing. And I find it very difficult to understand how people don't see it as windsurfing, because, you know, I saw windsurfing with dagger boards, I've seen it with fins, and now I've seen it with foils. And the rigs have changed all the years, like we said about the clamp on boom, and now we inflate it. It's windsurfing. I mean, it's really tough for me talking like this as well, because I don't want to feel in any way treacherous or traitor-like, because obviously windsurfing's been my whole life. I'm in my 4th decade of being on the water windsurfing, and I've witnessed the developments in our sport firsthand, and I've performed to an elite level at each level of each part of our eras of our sport. And, you know, so I don't want to feel like I'm letting down people who love fins. I'm just having to be honest and share my passion with you all. And that's, you know, it's taken us a long time to get this podcast together and have this chat. And
it's okay, mate. I mean, you won't be invited back on again, but it's okay.
I couldn't get a 10-year-old kid interested in windsurfing or kiting without bribing them a new iPhone or something. You know, obviously there's some, but there's not enough, right?
Yeah.
And every little kid wants to wing. There's an appeal there that I don't understand.
It's so close to windsurfing foiling.
Yeah. It's way easier than windsurf foiling though. Windsurf foiling is really hard even if you're a good windsurfer, and you learn to wing foil in half an hour. Even if you've never foiled before and never windsurfed. So it's much, much, much easier, and you get good way faster. And unlike windsurf foiling, which is really fun in light wind and really scary in strong wind, even if you're a good guy, this is easy in all winds. It doesn't matter, because the power goes straight through your body into the wing. There's not that disconnect of the sail going into the board. That, you know, the triangulation of power, windsurf foiling, is tricky.
You can depower. You can depower the wing, right?
And when you get a gust or a lull, it translates right through your body into the foil. There's no delay or disconnect. Where windsurfing, you get in a gust, it kind of pushes the foil down. You get into a hole, the foil wants to come up, and even if you're really good and using really specialized gear, you kind of have to be pretty good to get it. You know, even if you're going to go with a little tiny sail and cruise the way I like to windsurf foil, it's certainly harder than wing foiling. Like my daughter, Christina, she can windsurf, you know, kind of. She's not in the foot straps, not in the harness. You can kind of go and make it back almost to the same spot. On the wing, she's flying everywhere. She wants to jump. She's out there with her friends, jiving. She's jiving in the air. Like I barely even jive in the air. So